Hey there. I think one of the hardest feelings to explain is the feeling of being stuck in the middle. Not completely lost, not completely okay either, just somewhere in between. Between where you used to be and where you want to become. Between wanting change and not fully knowing how to reach it. Between outgrowing certain parts of your life, but not yet feeling connected to what comes next. And I think that's why this season can feel so strange. Because from the outside, it might not even look like anything is wrong. You're still functioning, still responding to people, still getting through your days. But internally, something feels paused, like your life is moving, but you don't fully feel connected to the movement of it. And after a while, that can become exhausting because you keep waiting for clarity, for motivation, for a clear next step that suddenly makes everything feel meaningful again. But instead, the days begin blending together. You do what you need to do, you think about changing things, you imagine different versions of your future, and then somehow another week passes without anything feeling very different. And that's usually the moment where frustration starts turning inward. You begin wondering if you're wasting time, if you're falling behind, if you've become too comfortable or too afraid or too lost to move forward properly. But I don't think being in the middle always means you're stuck in a negative way. Sometimes it simply means your life is in transition, even if you can't fully see what it's transitioning into yet. And transitions are uncomfortable because they rarely feel clear while you're inside them. We imagine growth as something exciting and obvious, but often, growth feels more like uncertainty, like questioning things you used to feel sure about, like feeling disconnected from old versions of yourself before new ones fully form. And that space in between can feel incredibly lonely because there's nothing concrete to hold on to yet. You're no longer who you were, but you don't fully know who you're becoming either. So naturally, you feel unsettled. But unsettled does not mean broken, and unclear does not mean directionless. Sometimes your mind is still catching up to changes your heart has already started noticing quietly. Sometimes you're being asked to pause long enough to recognize what no longer fits before you can clearly see what does. And I know part of you wants answers right now. You want certainty, momentum, something that makes you feel like your life is moving again in a visible way. But not every important season looks productive from the outside. Some seasons are quieter than that. Some are about reflection. Some are about rebuilding your energy. Some are about slowly understanding yourself more honestly than before. And because those things happen internally, it's easy to assume nothing is happening at all. But something is happening. Even now, you are becoming more aware of yourself, more aware of what drains you, what matters to you, what no longer feels aligned. That awareness may not feel exciting yet, but it matters deeply. Because eventually, clarity grows from honesty, not from rushing yourself into decisions just to escape discomfort. So maybe right now, you do not need to force yourself into becoming the next version of your life immediately. Maybe you just need permission to admit that this middle space feels difficult without treating yourself like a failure for being in it. You are not behind because things feel unclear. You are not lazy because your energy feels uncertain. And you are not wasting your life simply because you're still figuring things out slowly. You are in a season that hasn't fully unfolded yet. And although I know that can feel uncomfortable, it does not mean you're going nowhere. Sometimes the middle is not where life stops. Sometimes it's where life quietly reshapes you before the next part begins.